Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto had the most powerful Sharingan. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series of What If Naruto Awakened, the Golden Dragon Soul over on Anime King. And I enjoyed that guys. And also over Anime King 2 I posted a brand new series of What If Naruto was created from nature energy. So go ahead and enjoy that guys. And remember, for anyone this is the first time you hear my voice, yes, you are not mistaken, I did have 3 channels: Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be planning talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So the last spot we left off, we had a flashback into the past of what happened when Shikaku and the others came on the site. They felt a feeling of dread and death as they saw the tailed beast was dead. It was literally sliced up in pieces. Standing amongst the chaos and destruction was none other than Naruto. Countless bodies surrounded him, his eyes bleeding as he looked toward Shikaku. As Naruto warned him, if his sister would sacrifice for Konoha, the village would not be at ease. Shikaku was surprised that Naruto would say something like that. As they returned back to the village, the funeral was kept, as Hiruzen provided proof that his sister was not sacrificed for the village. It has happened many times before in shinobi history, when a ninja was sacrificed to appease another nation. But someone had snuck in and messed with the comms, which Naruto still found hard to believe, but he knew that Hiruzen would not lie to him. The man had knew him ever since he was a child. He always saw Naruto as someone that would be great, but the light that Naruto used to have, it dimmed. It dimmed a lot, as Kushina was trying to be there for him, but losing his sister and Inabi, who was like a brother to him, it triggered something inside him dark. We then return back to the present time, as Kushina was facing off against a masked man, as he attacked her. As Kushina was not known as the Red Death of Konoha for anything, as he was trying to subdue her quietly, but the woman kept on moving as she was fast, and not to mention, she was strong as her fist tore apart the earth. He jumped away from her as she fought him back with her chains, only for his mask to be shattered as Naruto arrived on the scene, breaking his mask completely. He was launched back as he quickly used his Kamui to suck himself away in a swirling vortex as he was gone. Knowing that Naruto was now on the scene, he would not stay behind to fight Naruto. Minato and the Ondus arrived not too long after, as Minato rushed towards his wife to see what was happening, as she explained what was going on. As Minato was surprised to see Naruto here, as he said that he was just passing by. Good thing though, because if he was not, that man would have probably got what he wanted. As Minato told Naruto that he had it now. As Naruto obliges, he made his way. He made his way back home as Obito was pissed off, as he fixed his broken jaw just from a mere kick. He knew that Naruto was strong, but he seemed to have only got stronger with time. But he still hadn't given up yet. His chance of getting 9 tails failed, but sooner or later, he will get what he wants. As he made his way, some time passed afterwards as Tsume would not take no for answer, as she was adamant on making Naruto return back to Naruto that he was. As they drank a lot until both of them got hammered. as she confessed to him that she always liked him, but because of Kushina, she never wanted to do anything that ruined the relationship, so she kept her feelings to herself. As Naruto gave her a smile as she kissed him on the lip, he pushed her back a bit. But then he kissed her, and she kissed him back. The two of them wrestled a bit until it turned to a full-blown makeout session. Time skip. As the girls were at a hot spring. It has been a few weeks since she and Naruto had tussle, which she hadn't told anyone about. She and Kushina were best friends. Despite the both of them not being together anymore, she felt like it was something bad to sleep with Naruto, which she did, so she kept the information to herself. When she went home that day though, she puked. Must have been something bad that she ate, as she hadn't talked to Naruto since, as he had taken up Itachi as a little apprentice, and they had went on missions together, several to be exact. Unknown to her though, that little one night of their fooling around was gonna change everything. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the please check it for yourself so to be this new episode. We start this episode off in a quick flashback. There was a reason why Naruto was called the Demon of Konoha. Why he was called Death of Konoha. Several names that involved a being of mass destruction and chaos. There was a reason for this. Because of taking over the castle, Konoha could move in on the Hidden Stone, but there was a village, more like a city to be exact, in the land of Earth before they reached the Hidden Stone. But there were civilians there. The place was heavily guarded by enemy ninjas from the Hidden Stone. As many people lived there, it was basically a coast before they enter the real village where Oniki and his real forces were situated, but this village was filled with a lot of ninjas to keep it protected. It would be hard for a group of Konoha shinobi to get in the way, to provide enough distraction and manpower so that they can get in. But that was not the case. For the now demon of Konoha, Naruto was already a strong, powerful individual. To the point where, despite not having a monkey to Sharingan, his sister still admit that he was stronger than her. Maybe it was because of the blending bloodline Uzumaki and Uchiha's. Something that has never happened before. No one really knew. But it brought something out in him that no Uchiha else possessed. This raw, untapped power. As when he was angered, it just seemed to rise even more. Ever since his sister fell, that raw anger has lashed out at several people. It had lashed out at Kushina, Mikoto, Fukaku, several people, as he was pushing everyone away. But the village, known as Okimai, suffered the worst. Shikaku, Inoichi, and Tasume, along with their group, all arrived at the scene. They were trying to push back Oniki forces so that they could move in and order Oniki to surrender and stop this war once and for all, but Naruto went AWOL. He ran directly into the enemy forces. 1 hour, that was all it took. When they arrived to the scene though, the village, which was large even though it wasn't as large as Konoha, it was a nice stable village, large houses. The place was a sizable place. But when they arrived, Tasume, even with her brash nature, had to place a hand over her mouth, shocked and stunned. A few of the ninjas behind them couldn't believe what they were seeing. Inoichi looked at the village that was in front of him, well, half a village. The left half of the village was gone. All that they could see was this black darkness. The buildings, they were dust. Everything seemed to have just burned and torn apart by something that they couldn't even imagine what could cause this. All that remained was this black hazy gaze. The right side was on fire. Hundreds of ninjas and civilians, bodies lie dead. Thousands of people were in this village. Ninjas plus civilians adding up the numbers. But now all of them were gone. They were all just erased. 1 hour, that was all that it took. That was all that it took. as he had arrived in 1 hour time after finding out that Naruto had went ahead. Tasumi had remembered him saying something to her. He said that enough was enough, as he never wanted to attack this village straight away, because Konoha always chose to take the moral high ground, and civilians, a lot of them, innocent people in this village. But Naruto did not let that stop him. He burned it all. He incinerated it. As the group walked through the wasteland, not even a single soul was alive. As they arrived to see a monument of corpses, as they were all over the place, buildings, bodies burned, the stench was strong. Several ninjas had to cover their mouth, tie the bandanas that they had around their face to ward away the scent, as Inoichi and his crew made their way. While this will help them end the war once and for all. This was an inhumane, gruesome scene. Countless dead. Thousands of people lying dead. Children, women, men. He did not care who it was. And they saw him. There he was. He was wearing all black. His body was swamped in blood. Blood pooled from his eyes as they dripped down to his cheeks. His hands, coated in blood, his blade was at his feet. Naruto Uchiha has completely annihilated the village. Sir, there's no one left. The censor came up to Inoichi and told him. Tasumi made her way towards Naruto. As she stopped beside him, Naruto, what have you done? She said. He glanced towards her. I told you, enough was enough. And now, it's finally over. He picked up his blade and started to walk. Everyone gave him a wide berth. No one daring to stop him. As Shikaku looked towards his friend, he had warned the Hokage about this. It seems that he was right. He knew something like this would happen, but not on this scale. This was just a lot. After that, after the announcement was made, a few had managed to flee, just a handful, and the names had been spread around the elemental nation of the demon of Konoha, Oniki. After hearing that that particular village was taken over, and now they could just run right in the hidden stone and attack him head on, he had surrendered, ending his part in the war, as he had lost too much. An entire village completely erased, like it was never there. And it was done by one man. One man who was powerful enough to walk into a village and annihilate it, slaughtering all of his shinobis and his civilians. He has lost so much to this war, more than he could count, and this added the total, make it even worse. And from the recent hit from Minato's side, it was done. Oniki couldn't afford to lose anymore. He just could not. As much as his pride was there, he had to give up the war for his people. Otherwise, he wasn't sure he would have a village left to protect. A similar situation happened in Kumo. Well, not in Kumo exactly, as Naruto had proven that he was indeed the demon of Konoha like they said he was. All that was reported back was that there was a black monstrosity that appeared out of nowhere and started to set everything ablaze. It started to cut down everything. The black spectral beam wiped out dozens of Kumo ninjas. Moving up, they move on to the hundreds, then the thousands. Konoha officially had the most deadliest ninja, who brought down so much in the name of winning this war, but most people said that he did it because he liked it. His reputation built from there, and nations were afraid of him. Naruto Uchiha, the demon of Konoha. We skip back to the present time. Itachi, on the other hand, he heard the stories, while his uncle acts, or well, basically demonic by the way that they sound, the things that he did. Itachi was still a bit biased, after all it was his uncle, And not to mention what happened to his aunt, Emiko, who he loved as well. Itachi was on his uncle's side. Yes, he knew that he was being biased. But he did not care, it was his uncle after all. And those people, they were the ones that started this war. Konoha did not start this war. His uncle, with the efforts of other ninjas, were able to end it. Despite Minato killing over 1,000 ninjas and being named the Yellow Flash, he was feared as well, but Naruto was a threat, as there were still rumors that he might snap someday, and decided to go after the Hidden Stone and Kumo, given the fact that he was against stopping the war. He wanted to go on, he wanted to put them all down, like the dogs that they were. But Harrison, being the kind, peaceful man that he was, put it all to an end. He had to take Naruto off duty for a while, to get his mind cleared, for him to at least calm down. But with a few months of nothing, Naruto was reinstated as a shinobi of the village, with no problems. But he continues to take in missions and no rest, causing people to worry about him. But Itachi couldn't be any happier. The Jonin senseis that he had saw, they wouldn't be fit teaching him. His uncle on the other hand, they had the same fighting style. Not to mention they were both Uchihas. His uncle would be the best person to teach him, although he hadn't activated Sharingan yet. He was sure that it would be soon, as both of them were currently on a mission, making their way to Yagikakura, a village known for their privacy. It was a surprise that they had issued Konoha help, asking to take care of a few unwanted guests. The mission was labeled as a B rank. Unlike academy graduates, Naruto had take Itachi on C and B, no D ranks, as Itachi's skills far surpassed that after all. He was supposed to graduate the academy before the time of graduation, but as Naruto was one of the main reasons why he stayed in the academy, saying that there was no rush for him to go out and be a ninja. After arguing with Fugaku, Itachi was able to remain in the academy for the extra years. Itachi on the other hand wondering when would his Sharingan be awakened, as he knew that most Uchihas awaken their Sharingan by now. If they passed 16 and did not awaken their eyes, some say that they would never awaken it. As both men arrived to Yukigakure, as they were led through a long passageway, as they were brought in front of the village leader, Yukigakure had a police system. They didn't have ninjas per se, but their police could not handle threats that were above them, so they asked for aid from Konoha through a mission. The man that they were brought to was known as Rino, as he was a village leader. He was short, about 5'1", dark black hair, as he had a mustache. As he got up to greet the two, "I thank you for coming quickly," he said. "Oh, don't worry, there's no problem," said Naruto. The man nodded. "Please, have a seat," he said, as both Naruto and Itachi sat in front of the decks. "Now the reason why you were called, I'm sure that you were told about us being hassled." As Naruto nodded, "Our villagers cannot go out past the stroke of night without being taken. Several of our villagers, men, women, children has been taken so far, to the point where I have to set a curfew for no one to leave the village. As of yet, these, whoever they are, has not break into the village parameters, but they're getting close. Each night that passes, skirmishes are happening closer and closer to the village. I am not sure who they are, but I can inform you guys that they are not fully stable in the mind." "Would you mind explaining?" said Naruto. "They draw strange graffitis, markings all over the place. This is one per example," the man said, as he handed Naruto a file, as he was drawing inside. As Naruto saw the strange drawing, there was an upside down triangle, several, with different markings on it. "Have you seen this anywhere before?" Naruto asked. "No, this is the first. I have sent few of my police force members to scout the area, They returned that they had found movements towards the north, where there's a settlement there, but they had not returned. So you believe this is where they are, said Naruto. Yes. That is why I want you to go and get rid of them. I'm not sure how many they are, but I doubt they're as powerful as you ninjas. After all, there is no reason why powerful ninjas will attack Yukiko-core. While we're not the lowest village, we're not the most wealthy either. And these people, whoever they are, they don't want money. Instead, they just decide to take my people. Sighting of blood all over the area has been seen. Perhaps some strange ritual. I'm asking you to handle this problem, and if any of my people still reside out there, to please escort them back. As Naruto got up, prompting Itachi to get up as well. We will do our best, said Naruto. Thank you, the man said, as both Naruto and Itachi gave a small bow before they left. Once they were gone, someone came in the room. It was a young woman. She had dark hair, like the man, and they kind of looked like each other. It seems they were related. Seeing that she called him father, she said, just the two of them. One of them is a mere child, and the other one. I know that man, Leader said. Do you? She asked. Yes. Do you remember what I told you about the war? The Third Great Shinobi War. And how it's good that we're not a part of it. Yes, she said to him. Remember, about the city, like ours, that was completely erased. She nodded once more. As it all sank in, wait, you're telling me that man? As the man nodded, her eyes was wide. Meanwhile, as both Itachi and Naruto were making their way, hopping from tree branch to tree branch. So, what do you think it is? Said Itachi. I'm not sure, said Naruto. As Naruto's cloak rustled behind him, he was wearing a black cloak that hid his arms, as his arms were flowing behind him. Underneath he was wearing a black shirt that did not give away anything else, black style underpants and sandals. As his weapons could not be seen, or his blade, Itachi on the other hand was wearing a short black shorts with his kunai holster strapped to his thigh, as he was wearing a grey shirt with the Uchiha symbol on the back, as he was also wearing sandals. As both of them made their way, they arrived to the settlement. It was a distance away from the village, but not too far though. It was then that Naruto heard chanting as he motioned for Itachi to take over with him, and they saw it. There was a group of people, but that is not what Naruto was focusing on. 3 people, 1 woman and 2 children, were strapped down to the ground, as they were tied to a log of sorts. They were completely naked, as there was strange red markings all over their body, like they were drawn on, to separate the parts of their bodies, their arms, legs, and also organs inside. The person was marking out a map of someone's body. Whoever it was, as Naruto got a gathering of people, there wasn't a lot, about 12 in total, as they were all making a lot of noise. They had strange red markings all over their body as well, as it was just purely men, no women. None of them were wearing shirts, only pants, as they had markings all over them. The way it was shaped, it was like it was mapping out their skeleton. As Naruto watched as a tent was in front of them as it flapped open, all of the men bowed. As a man stepped out, he had silver hair that was slicked back, as he was not wearing a shirt either. He also had the red markings over his body, as he had this bloodthirsty grin on his face. The aura from the man just felt dark, as he had something in his hand, a scythe, with 3 blades on it. My acolytes, he said, as they all raised their hands to him like he was some sort of god. Today we shall perform the ritual to bring you all in the grace of our dear Lord Jushin. Jushin, all of them said to the sky, like they were praying to this person. By sacrificing these few individuals. It was then that the man removed a large tent cover off the ground as Naruto saw a lot of people strapped down. Men, women, children, as they were all naked as well, with red markings all over their body. The people squirmed as their mouth was gagged. The men all got to their feet as they started to raise their hand to the heavens, praying to this Lord Jushin. Once this is done, you should all be in the favor of Jushin just like me, and we will spread Jushin influence across the world. All of them cheer in delight. The man switched his staff in his hand. Now, let us begin, he said. Itachi, said Naruto. Itachi looked towards his uncle and nodded, as his uncle was giving the go-ahead. These men, they were nothing but monsters, as Itachi could see it on their faces, as his uncle had taught him that things like these need to be purged from the world. Otherwise, it would just cause more mayhem and destruction. And Itachi could also feel it. Their chakra. It was like a normal civilian. They were weak. Itachi pulled two kunai as he tossed them. It stabbed into one of their backs as they fell to the ground. He looked to his side, his uncle was gone. The next thing he knew, the neck of one of these person was snapped as Naruto boot connected with it. He landed. As the man narrowed his eyes to one to the sight. Who are you? He said. I am the person that was sent to take care of you people, he said. The man laughed, finding it rather funny. Well then, whoever you are, my name is Hidan, and I shall also sacrifice you to Jushin. Now, bow, Hidan said as he raised his light and started to rush forward towards Naruto. As Naruto's eyes switched around towards all the individuals, before he ducked under Hidan's sight and rolled, Naruto grabbed the man by his face, as he saw there was a steel pipe run out of the ground. He slammed Hidan directly through it, as the pipe pierced his skull. Two others moved in towards Naruto. He jumped in mid-air, as his feet slammed into both of their faces at the same time. Itachi, on the other hand, was facing off against four of these individuals as they all pulled out weapons and started to attack him. He blocked the first one as he dodged, using his small frame as he went through hand sign, fire style, fireball jutsu, as he torched the man in front of him as he started to fall. Itachi moved towards the third one as he swung right into the man's face, knocking him back. The man staggered back before he launched the spear in his hand towards Itachi, who dodged out of the way. Itachi turned as he saw the other one coming towards him. He managed to backpedal, but the one that was burned, surprisingly he was still alive, pushed Itachi in the back, as the man then fell, dead from all the burns over his body. But Itachi swiftly ducked under the slice from the man's strange, curved blade. As he got back to his feet, he plunged his kunai into the man's chest. The man winks in pain, but he smirked. I felt worse, he said, as Itachi did not stab his heart. The man grabbed onto Itachi. Now, he said, as the other two rushed over with their spears, as they were about to drive it through the man to pierce Itachi. Itachi reinforced his limbs with chakra as he overpowered the hole as the man got stabbed through by his own friends. He went through another series of hand signs. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Flame Jutsu, he said. He released several small fireballs as he slammed into their opponents, burning them. As Itachi made his way towards the people, as he started to untie them, it was then that he heard his name called, Itachi! As Itachi saw his uncle taking two of the opponents down before looking towards him, Itachi felt a feeling as his hairs in the back of his neck stood up. As Itachi turned to see the man that had his head rammed through by the pipe get back up. How was that even possible? A sight coming down to cleave Itachi's head clean off. Itachi thought that he was dead, so he didn't pay him any mind. Was this it? Was this how he died? No. He couldn't die just yet. And then it happened as Itachi saw the sight coming down much slower. But it was still coming down on him. But something happened to him in that moment that will forever change him. But his uncle wouldn't allow his death to happen here. Itachi saw a dark flash. The next thing he knew, the man's whole right arm was cleaved off, as Naruto grabbed the sight and drove it through the man's chest and head, the 3 points ripping through his chest and poking towards his skull. The man staggered back, the man that is known as Hidan, as he growled in frustration, looking towards his arm that was now gone. You're fast, I'll give you that. Hidan ripped the sight out of him. But you can't kill something that cannot die, he said. As Naruto raised the eyebrow in surprise. Lord Jashin will not let me fall. And with Lord Jashin blessed, I will put you down as one of his sacrifice. Hidan launched himself towards Naruto, swinging aside with his one arm as Naruto dodged, as Itachi started to remove the bindings of the people, knowing that they could get hurt. As Naruto realized that this man was not falling no matter what he did, somehow he has gained some sort of immortality. As Naruto ducked out of the sight, his Sharingan activated. Before he twisted and flipped around Hidan, Hidan was about to turn until Naruto grabbed his arm and reached over and grabbed his neck as Naruto snapped his spine, breaking it. As Hidan fell to the ground, he cursed as he started to crawl towards Naruto. Naruto stomped into his back, breaking something more. As he glared up at him, "You won't stop me, nothing will," he said. As Naruto focused on his arm, "You're immortal, but your limbs don't grow back. A shame." What? As Naruto gripped him by the throat and threw him up in the air. Hidan looked down with a frown. "You think you can kill me? Well, you..." As Naruto moved, before Hidan fell, his body split. Arms and legs dropped to the ground, his head rolling in a neat pile. Hidan was about to say something else, showing that he survived, his body being sliced up into small pieces, but Naruto wouldn't allow him. As he went through hand sign, "Fire style," he said. "Hell missile," as he placed both hands on the ground. As the ground around Hidan started to tremble until fire exploded out of it. It consumed and burned its flesh. As the fire kept on burning high up in the sky, as it started to catch all the tents and everything around. Luckily, Itachi started freeing the people a long time ago, and they were now a distance away, trying to find any small piece of clothing they could to cover themselves. Grateful that they were alive, the fire did not stop until it swallowed the entire camp, shocking everyone that was there, as Hidan remains along with these people were brought up in flames, toasted, until there was nothing left behind. Itachi paused as he watched his uncle flash right in front of him. "Are you okay?" said Naruto. "Yes, I'm fine." "Well," said Naruto, "it seems that event helped you in a way though." As he pulled out his kunai and handed it to Itachi. Itachi was confused until he looked at the reflective metal and saw his eyes. As he saw two totem in his eyes, his Sharingan was finally activated. Time skip. The leader of Yakigakure was surprised. "It was Hidan," he said. "Yes, I believe that is what his name was." "You know him?" "In a sense, yes," the man said. "He was once a member of this village, but he started to dive into a cult known as Jashin, and he started to do some things that forced me and the council to banish him from this village. But he did not take it lightly. I thought he was dead. Seems he survived." "Are you sure that he's dead now?" the leader asked. "I promise you, he won't be coming back." "Well, thank you," the man said, breathing a sigh of relief. "Me and my people are eternally grateful to you." As Naruto waved off the thanks, "The mission is complete. We will take our leave now." "Yes, thank you once again," the man said, grateful that Hidan and his acolytes did not rain down hell on this village. As the people returned, and with that, both Itachi and Naruto started to make their way back to the village. "That jutsu," said Itachi. "The one that you use." "No," said Naruto. "What? I didn't ask anything yet." "You want to learn it, don't you?" "Well, yeah," Itachi said. "You'll have to grow a bit more," said Naruto. Itachi sighed. "Fine," he said. "Come on, kid, cheer up," said Naruto. "When I get back, I'll teach you something else." "As awesome as that one?" Itachi asked. "I won't lie to you, not really," said Naruto. "But it's another jutsu to add to your arsenal. Why complain?" "Alright, fine," said Itachi. "You made it sound like I'm forcing you," said Naruto. "It's a good thing, cheer up. Maybe one day I'll teach you that technique." As that brought a genuine smile to his face. "Really? You would?" As Naruto nodded, as they made their way back towards the village. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Kasumi Inazaka was having a good day so far, other than throwing up this morning, as that was the reason why she woke up. She had to throw up. It was becoming a daily occurrence. So she decided to go to the hospital. She was now back home as she found out some shocking news. She was pregnant. As she was sitting on her bed, she hasn't moved in the past 30 minutes. Since getting home, she just came from the hospital and sat down, as she has not moved. Her mind was blank. Despite it should be filled with a lot of thoughts right now, it was blank completely. She already knew who the father was. Her body was not listening to her to move, as she just sat there, unmoving, unblinking, for a while now. As she finally blinked, moistened her eyes. As she went back into that state, frozen. As she didn't expect this. That one night of passion turned into something that, well, something unexpected. She was pregnant. A lot of thoughts started to hit her as she realized what exactly was going on. First of all, her mind ran on Kushina. Her mind ran on Mikoto, on all of her friends. Her mind didn't want to go on Naruto as she remembered what happened between him and Kushina. She remembered how he has been trying to avoid everyone lately, and now she was pregnant with his child. How would he react? Would he even want this? Would he even want to be with her? She knew that she was not the most good looking and all. But she dropped on her bed as she lay down. Her mind going blank once again, refusing to think of nothing in this state. As she lay there, trying to come up with something to do, something to say. For one thing, of course she would keep the child. It was her child, she would never abandon a child like that. But her mind ran on Naruto. How would he react? How would everyone else react when they found out? Would they hate her? After all, the breakup between him and Kushina was not anything normal. And the things that he has been doing recently, the way he has been acting, she started to fret about the upcoming events. As she was afraid, should she even tell him? Of course she had to tell him, he was a father, right? Or should she keep it to herself? Pretend like he was not his? No, she couldn't do that. He was one of her closest friends. And not to mention she always had feelings for him, but this was just a lot. Her mind was going through possibilities after possibilities, and none of them were making her satisfied. She needed a drink. Oh damn it, she couldn't drink. She was pregnant. She screamed as it was becoming so frustrated. Her dog, Kuromaru, came in the room as he seemed to have been sleeping. Unlike most of the Inuzaka dog, her dog could talk. "Tsusume, what is the problem?" he said. "Why did you scream?" "I just found out some troubling news," she told him. "And that would be?" "I'm pregnant," she said, as she felt good to tell someone about it. "That is bad," he asks. "Well, not really bad, but given the person who is the father, who is it?" he asks. "Is it the one that you have feelings for?" She had told him everything. After all, he was her companion. He had told her that she needed to move on, that things might not work out between her and Naruto. Perhaps she should have listened to him. After all, now she was pregnant. She covered her face with the pillow as she just lay there. It wasn't like she never wanted to become a mom. In fact, she wanted to become a mom, but with the person that she wanted to be with, she could not have him, so she thought that she would have to settle for someone else. But now, her dream had come through, but not in the way that she expected. As she sighed once again, what is she gonna do? Time skip. As Naruto was back at the village, he had reported to Minato about the mission well done. It wasn't much of a hassle. Perhaps it would be for another ninja or squad, but given Naruto threat level and Hidan's, it wasn't really a problem, but it allowed Itachi to awaken his Sharingan, as Naruto could also teach him some more now. Know that he had his eyes. In fact, it was kind of a good thing, as Naruto would have never allowed Itachi to be harmed in any way. There was a reason why Naruto had the most powerful Sharingan. The abilities that were granted to him by awakening his Mangita Sharingan were something that this world has never seen before. A rather dangerous ability, but it took his sight. Despite having the eyes of Emiko, he never transplanted them in his own. They were sealed away in a jar, perfectly kept safe, as he was the one that was in possession of them. He never knew why he didn't implant them. For some reason he just hasn't yet. As Naruto walked through the street as Itachi had made his way home, as Naruto was picking up something for dinner, as he has been through a lot, as he walked, several thoughts just popped into his head and his mind. The reason why he had broken up with Kushina was not because he was hurting. Yes, he was hurting, but her being there for him was a good thing. The reason why he did it was because of his own agony, because of what he had done. He had wiped away an entire village. At the time, he did not care, but when he truly sat alone and realized what he did, he erased families, innocent people who had nothing to do with this war, despite just being a part of the Hidden Stone. It is not like they gave the order, but he still erased them. He wiped them away, like they were nothing. In order to accomplish his goals, he killed thousands of innocent people. His hands were stained with so much blood. And in his mind, he doesn't deserve happiness. The briefest moments, he doesn't deserve it. He doesn't deserve a good life, a family. He knew that his heart has been tainted ever since he did what he did. So he had to make Kushina hate him. But despite what he did to ruin their relationship, they ended things, but she never truly hated him as much as he would like. He wanted her to forget about him and be happy. Minato was good for her, but he was a monster. Minato had killed ninjas that were trying to threaten and bring war, but he had annihilated innocents. He had wiped them away like they were nothing but rubbish. He did so much, he killed so much. In his mind, he does not deserve happiness. That is the reason why. That is the reason why he stopped hanging out with friends. That is the reason why he secluded himself. That is the reason why he deserved to be alone, because he was a monster and he knew it. It was then that he saw Tsume passing by the market. As he remembered their little session, as much as he enjoyed the feeling of another female flesh, he never really wanted to start any real relationship. And he had to make that clear to her. He just doesn't believe that his heart was in it anymore to start a real relationship. As he hadn't talked to her since, it was like he was blowing her off. That is what he usually did. But it might have looked weird on his part. "Hey, Tsume," he said. As he caught up to her, she froze. As she slowly turned, this was a sign. She had been talking to herself the entire time. And this was the sign that she was looking for, was it not? "Naruto, what are you doing here?" she said. "Oh, I'm just getting something for dinner," he said. "Would you mind if I join you?" She said with a smile. He raised an eyebrow at that. He didn't really want the company after all. He just wanted to tell her that he wouldn't be, well, starting a relationship with her. As even though he was buzzed, he remembered what she had said to him about her feelings for him. He didn't want to crush her completely, as she was one of his good friends. So he would let her down gently. "Yeah, sure," said Naruto. "Let me just grab a few things." She followed behind him. As he started to buy a few things, her mind was running a mile a minute. She was gonna tell him. She was gonna eat something, calm him down, tell him. She was gonna tell him, as she kept on saying that over and over again in her mind. As the group made their way back towards Uchiha compound, arriving there, Mikoto, who had just met up with Itachi, saw Naruto, but he wasn't alone. As she saw Tetsumi, the both of them alone making their way towards his house, she raised an eyebrow as she wondered, was something going on there? She did not know. Time skip. As Tetsumi was sitting by the table, as Naruto was in the kitchen, as they had some light conversations about the missions that they went on recently, as she wiped the sweat away from her brow, as Naruto came back in, as he had cooked them up some steaks. He was a marvelous cook. He was one of the best cooks that she knew. As he placed down the food in front of her, as she found herself really hungry. Well, she was eating for two now. As Naruto watched her with a narrow gaze, something was off about her. She was silent. Given her normal brash attitude, this was unexpected. She was usually loud, always talking, always with this cheery attitude, but now she seemed nervous. Well, given what happened recently, he figured that was the case. But they were adults. They could handle this properly without any fighting or any bloodshed. Right? He thought to himself, as he calmly ate, as she did. Strangely enough, they did not talk through the meal. And that made it even more strange. She would usually talk about his food, whenever he had made food for her in the past. But something seemed off, like she was hiding something from him. As he wasn't sure what it was, but it seems important, as Naruto was a good judge of reading people, and her body language was telling him that she had something important to tell him, but she was hesitant to do so. Tatsumi-san, he said, as he paused, placing down the fork. Is there something wrong? Something wrong? Well, how do you say that? She said. Well, you seem to be holding something back. She released a sigh as she placed down her own fork. She knew that he would see it written all over her face. He was able to easily read people. And her being in this emotional wreck state, well, she was not really hiding her emotions well. She was nervous. Nervous to hear what he think. Nervous to know what he would say about them. She didn't know what was going to happen after she told him. Yes, I do have something to tell you. But after I'm done eating, she said. As Naruto nodded as he would not pry until she decided to tell him. If there was something she loved about him, it was that he was patient. So the both of them eat. As she was trying to find a way on doing something to tell him something else, but her mind refused to lie to him. If they were going to do this, they need to do it honestly. As they were finished eating, as Naruto took the plates and he washed them, as he put them away, as he came back to sit down, as he brought her a cool glass of water that she asked for, as she drank it down. He was surprised that she did not ask for something much stronger, sake or something like that. He chuckled as the thought came to his mind, what if she was pregnant? As he focused back on her, to see what she had to say to him. Naruto. Yeah, said Naruto. You remember what we did, right? Yes, said Naruto. We were both hammered. Yes, said Naruto. We barely had any self-control. I mean, we were out of control. It was crazy, right? Yeah, about that, Tatsumi, said Naruto. Wait, she said. Let me finish, I'm not done yet. As Naruto went quiet, what I wanted to say was, it seems we got a memory of that night. Forever now, she said. What do you mean by that? She looked down towards her stomach. As Naruto's eyes widened, Naruto, I'm pregnant, she said to him. Everything seemed to went quiet. There was no noise. It almost seems like the bugs and the insects outside decided to go quiet for this one moment. As Naruto's face was unreadable. This was a stress, intense moment, and yet his face was completely blank, and she couldn't read that damn thing on it. She couldn't tell what he was thinking. as he was just sitting there, unmoving, unblinking. 30 seconds passed and he still did not blink or anything. As she watched him, she said nothing, as she wanted to hear his honest opinion, as she just continued to watch him. This was not good. This was definitely not good. No one took this long. Yes, it was a shot, but this was too long. Her mind started to panic about everything falling apart. Their friendship. The people around them friendship being crippled by this one stupid mistake of the both of them sleeping together. She shouldn't have get so hammered with him. She knew that her real feelings would have come out, but yet she still did it because she was trying to return him back to his old self. But now, she was pregnant with child. As she saw his mouth finally move, he was about to say something. But guys, if you ends up so right here, if you want to see this person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King of What If Naruto Awaken the Golden Dragon Soul Part 1 guys. Yes, a brand new series, so go ahead and enjoy that guys. And also over on Anime King 2, I posted a brand new episode of What If, well, to be exact, a brand new series of What If Naruto was created from nature energy. So go ahead and check that out and enjoy guys. And remember, for new and this is the first time you hear my voice, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and yeah, without further ado, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.